we are. This is Electric Gold. I am Ryan. I'm joined by my good friends John and Evan. Guys, how you feeling this evening? Feeling good?
Feeling real good, riding high.
So good.
This might be the highest point all season for Nashville SC and its fans. For the first time all season, we've won back-to-back games.
No way.
Undefeated in a week.
Yeah, baby.
The Roomba Menthali era is absolutely just pristine, magical. We talked about it last week, and we're going to get into a whole lot more of that this evening. But before we talk about any soccer, guys, let's talk about what's really important. What beer are you drinking tonight? Evan?
Guys, I am drinking a beer that I cannot wait for you to try. It is called the Summer Tropical Blonde from Fat Bottom.
Nice.
Never had it before. Didn't know what I was getting myself into. It's got tropical fruit in there, but it's not too sweet. It's got just the right amount of sweetness, and it's just crisp and smooth, and it is a real pleasant surprise.
Wow, that sounds delicious. I love a nice blonde. All right, John, what are you drinking this evening?
I am representing the Middle Tennessee area as well. I'm drinking a Sumner Summer Kolsch from Half Batch Brewing in Hendersonville, TN. We all love Half Batch. We all gather occasionally on Thursday nights to play trivia together at Half Batch. They make great beer. This one is a summer seasonal Kolsch style ale, and it is refreshing. It tastes so good. It's got delicate floral and fruit notes. It is basically the perfect summer beer. So props to Half Batch.
Oh, I love Half Batch.
Let me ask you guys, you may know, I'm not clear on it. What makes an ale Kolsch style?
I read it somewhere before and I forgot it.
Oh,
I don't know. But Kolsch, I think, means like from Cologne in Germany.
Sure.
I do remember that. That could be making that up. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's got a little bit of almost a spice to it to me that pushes it over the top. I love Kolsch's.
Where's Chat GPT when you need her?
Well, I'll tell you, we don't have to be experts on how the beer is made. We just know that it tastes damn good. Am I right?
That's right.
You're right, buddy.
Well, I'm going south of the border for my beer tonight, all the way to Birmingham, Alabama. This is the Hazy Snake from the Good People Brewing Company. Have you guys had any stuff from Good People before?
I have. Yep.
Yeah.
They make some great beers. Actually, this is a spin on their Snake Handler IPA, which is a double IPA. This is the hazy version. It's 6.9%, real tropical flavors in there. You're talking about citrus, grapefruit, some pineapple, stone fruit, which I don't even know what that is, but sounds great. And it's, again, a nice, refreshing summer type beer. We had some hazies last week, Evan, you and I did, and I'm just on the hazy kick now. I'm sticking with another hazy. Guys, it's great to be here with you this evening, talking about some wins. Cheers to you.
Cheers, boys.
Okay, well, let's dig into some soccer. First, we'll start with the week in review. Nashville returned home this past weekend fresh off a 2-1 victory in Toronto midweek. This time, they were hosting a New York City FC team that had been as hot as any team in the MLS the past couple of months before dropping their last 2 games. NYC entered the match with a record of 9 wins, 7 losses, and 2 draws, and tied for 4th place in the Eastern Conference. Nashville SC, meanwhile, had just clawed their way back into playoff contention in recent weeks, sitting in 8th place with a record of 5 wins, 5 losses, and 8 draws. Interim coach Roomba Menthali once again opted for the same unconventional lineup that worked successfully in Toronto, starting veteran Teal Bunbury in the striker position and moving Sam Surge to a left wing position, Tyler Boyd playing from the right wing and Hani Mukhtar playing in the number 10 spot. There was plenty for NSC fans to be excited about early on, especially when Hani Mukhtar delivered a beautiful pass through the defense to a hard-charging Tyler Boyd, who worked past the NYC keeper and had an open net calling his name. Unfortunately, Boyd's excitement got the better of him and he sailed the shot high over the bar. But Boyd made up for this mistake shortly after. In the 23rd minute, Dan Lovitz crossed the ball from deep in the left corner and Sam Surge picked it up just on the left edge of the box. Surge used some crafty footwork and ball control to shake loose a defender and cross the ball in front of the goal where Boyd headed the ball home. The goal was Boyd's first as a boy in gold, and he kept his shirt tucked in the entire time. The rest of the game played out evenly, with both teams getting numerous opportunities for a score. However, Nashville's defense proved to be incredibly difficult to navigate, and none of NYC's 14 shots were on target. Nashville wrapped up the game with a 1-0 win, their first back-to-back wins of the season. They now sit in 7th place in the Eastern Conference with a record of 6 wins, 5 losses, and 8 draws. Since assuming the role of interim coach, Ruben Monthali has amassed a record of 3 wins, 1 loss, and 3 draws. What a fun game this was to watch. It was probably, in my opinion, the most complete game that I've seen this team perform all season. I know we've had some bigger wins. We had a good performance up in Montreal. At no time during the game did I feel worried.
Yeah.
Even though NYC is higher than us in the standings and they've been hot the past couple of months, every point of the game, Nashville just looked like the better team. I know that they were pretty evenly matched in a lot of ways, but I just felt like our defense was not going to be cracked. I felt like once we started to see a lot of opportunities early in the game, and I was like, one's going to get through eventually. And I just felt very confident all game long. What do you guys think? John, what was your initial reaction?
Yeah, pretty similar. Sometimes like a 1-goal lead can feel like a lot. Sometimes it can feel nervous as hell. I felt pretty confident throughout. I thought there was a better chance of us getting one on ourselves than being scored upon. Really, the only NYC player that scared me was when they brought in Malachi Jones. With the Nashville connection, he played at Lipscomb. That dude is good. He played on the left wing, and he did scare the shit out of me a few times. And I got to tell you, if his brother Isaiah, who was on the bench for us, is half as good as Malachi, we got to find some playing time for Isaiah Jones because, man, Malachi was good. But anyway, like overall, yeah, we controlled the game. I felt our defense was in control throughout. You know, we didn't have as much play on their end as you would hope, but every time we did go forward, it looked like had a decent chance of scoring. It was overall just a great performance. Very encouraging for the rest of the season.
I thought so too. What position is it Isaiah Jones you said?
Malachi Jones plays on the left wing. Isaiah Jones plays, I think, a kind of a deeper midfield position, but I haven't seen Huntsville games enough to tell you for sure.
You were saying that we maybe need to try and find some time for him.
Yeah.
If he's a midfielder, I think that there's plenty of minutes to go around.
I know, right? Yeah. Surely he can take some of Anunga's minutes.
Sure. Evan, what did you think? What were your initial reactions to this game?
Initial reactions were that we continue to own NYCFC.
Yes.
All time against them.
Yeah.
We really did look in the driver's seat the entire match. I'm surprised we didn't score a second and even maybe a third goal there, but we're really trending in the right direction. We're still not playing at peak power, but we're working on it. So initial reaction, we own the Pigeons.
Yes.
Hell yeah. I can only imagine what this might look like when we get Jakob Shaffleburg and Shaq Moore back into the mix, because Shaffleburg just adds another dimension on the offense. And I think having Moore on that right wing, we've kind of been playing a hodgepodge with Alex Muyl, with Bauer. Bauer's actually done pretty damn well, honestly. He's playing a little bit out of position, I believe. But that would be really interesting to see Shaffleburg, how he mixes up with Boyd, with Surridge in this new spot. Does Shaffleburg move inside? Does he play right wing? I mean, maybe that's a possibility. I don't know. It's going to be a nice problem to have for once. We kind of have a glut of offensive players, and that's not anything I remember ever as a Nashville SC fan.
Did you happen to see any of Canada's game against Argentina?
I saw highlights and read about it, and it sounds like that Canada became a real threat as soon as Shaffleburg hit the field.
Shaffleburg was, absolutely the threat for Canada. And he was playing on the right wing, something he's never done for us, to my knowledge.
Interesting.
And it was really interesting. It was eye-opening So, yeah, I can definitely see it happening.
Do you want to talk about the rumors swirling around with Shaffleburg?
Sure. Yeah, let's go into it.
I was kind of sick to even bring it up.
Yeah, I hate to bring it up. The fact that I think one of our first episodes, I kind of mentioned that I thought Shaffleburg might be a target for European teams. And the rumors are swirling that either, it was a second division team in Spain, Gijón, or Belgian or Dutch teams were kind of looking at him. That's the level I would think. He's got the speed. He's shown improvement. He's shown flexibility. If I was a European team without a huge budget, he's a player I'd be looking at.
That would hurt.
It would.
I think he would do better to stick with us for one more year. Then maybe he moves after 2025 or summer 2025 or something like that. He definitely seems destined at his age for a brighter light in the soccer world than probably MLS. Unfortunately, I'd love to keep him around for forever, but that's going to be tough to do.
I do think we should be looking for maximum dollars for him. Like, I don't think Jakob should pull the trigger for anything less than like $3 or $4 million. I think is what he should be looking at. And I don't know how many second division European teams would be willing to do that. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Do you think that the Copa America tournament compared to the Euros, do you think that maybe there's some sort of shift happening with the value of MLS versus some of these other lesser divisions in Europe? Or is it playing in Europe is still the prestige over MLS? Because MLS has got top tier players, several teams now.
Yeah. I think maybe if I was a young player, playing over there might get you to that next level. Like if he goes to a second division team in Spain and kills everybody over there, maybe a first division team starts to look at him, and it's kind of a ladder situation.
I see. Okay. Well, don't anybody tell Jakob that we said this.
No, please don't.
Yeah, and point him in the direction of some of these American players, national team players who've gone over, tried playing for European teams, sometimes second division, teams, hoping to maybe get into the first division. And it's a struggle.
It hasn't worked.
Great players like Weston McKennie and some of those other guys, they've definitely had some downs along with their ups over there. So, hey, Shaff, just stay here, man. Just stay here and be one of the most beloved boys in gold that we've got.
You could live like a king here in Nashville.
Yes.
If anybody is planning on playing this podcast for Jakob Shaffleburg, just earmuffs on this part. This whole section, just earmuffs, please.
And I'll tell you this, Shaff, you'll never have to buy a beer here in Nashville. We love you here, dude. And I don't know if that's going to be the case everywhere in the world.
It's on us.
Yep.
Always. All right, well, let's move on, boys. Let's talk about hell yeah. So, hell yeah, of course, is where we highlight the best thing that you saw this week. And, John, we will start with you. What's your hell yeah moment?
Yeah, man, my hell moment was Tyler Boyd finally breaking the duck. Finally getting that goal for us and making Evan seem like an absolute fucking genius that he is.
Nostradamus.
Evan absolutely called this on our last episode. And what's funny is Tyler Boyd got through on that first minute chance. And I was like, oh, Evan's already going to be proven right. The ball goes flying over. I was like,
and then you're like, Evan's a complete idiot.
But no, he came right back. He stuck with it. Surridge served him up on a platter from his weird position on left wing all of a sudden. And man, it's working. Yeah, Tyler Boyd is improving week by week. And I just hope he keeps going. I was like, oh, hell yeah, Tyler Boyd.
Surridge on the left made that play. He has been just a revelation on that wing position. Did he play wing at all in any of his previous iterations over in Europe anywhere? I mean,
I don't think so.
He came from Nottingham Forest, right? Was where he was playing before. He's always been striker, right?
Yeah, I can't say I saw him at Nottingham Forest, but I can say I've always had a soft spot for Swansea City, a team in Wales. Yeah, They used to be in the Premier League and they went down, but Surridge was playing with them, and I saw him a few years ago. And yeah, all he did was number 9. He was just a fox in the box type of guy. Didn't do anything else. So yeah, it's definitely new.
He's certainly embraced the role, and it seems to have worked out the chemistry issues that were prevalent earlier in the season. It seemed like those guys up front could not connect the dots. But this move, and it's probably just been out of necessity more than anything else because Shaffleburg's been gone to the Copa America tournament. But moving him out left has just made all the other pieces fall into place. Now Boyd can play where he needs to play. Mukhtar playing that. The other part of this is putting Bunbury in.
Yeah.
Who isn't the hugest threat up front as a striker, but what I have observed is that he can receive long passes without losing possession. He's a big body that if they want to lob the ball forward, he can at least control it and then pass it off to whoever can be more of a threat to score. Those other guys don't seem like they have the physical presence to receive a lot of those longer passes, and Bunbury does. Am I wrong or am I right? You guys seeing that as well?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
He does a much better job of directing that header to, Hani or somebody running up the middle than Sam does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's falling into place. And when we do get our new coach, when Nashville gets their BJ coming soon, I hope that he's watching some of this and taking some notes and seeing that this is working. I'd love to see some more of this even as we transition to whatever his scheme is going to be. Well, Evan, what is your oh hell yeah moment for this week?
Okay. Well, before I get to that, John, thank you for the recognition, but you also predicted a Tyler Boyd
I
goal,
did.
so don't sell yourself short there. One other thing, let me ask you this. Would you have predicted that Tyler Boyd would have scored a header off a cross from Surridge, or would you have predicted the other way around?
Definitely the other way around. It was,
Right.
Yeah.
It was weird. Yeah.
Me too. So anyway, my moment was really the entire performance by Josh Bauer.
Yes.
He was so solid throughout the game. His positioning, his hustle, even his footwork with the ball when he had it and trying to play out of the back. I could be wrong, but I don't even remember him making like a single mistake or serious error or anything like that. Just a wonderfully well-rounded performance from him. I was just like, oh, hell yeah.
I love his fight. I think that he does not give up. He keeps hounding people. We were playing on defense for a lot of the game. It seemed like they kept continually attacking that left side. If he's on defense, it's on the left side there. And he just stayed in front of the attackers. He just would not give up. He was relentless in attacking, trying to take the ball away. And it just was more aggressive than I think what we saw in April and May from our defense. So I think Bauer is really coming into his own. And again, when McNaughton comes back, I don't know if he'll even come back this season, but when he comes back, now we've got some real decisions to make on the defensive side. And with more too. I mean, we've got a glut of defensive players as well. I mean, Mayer's been playing great, just great. Remember how much we were dogging him earlier this season?
Yeah.
He has just turned it around in a major way. I have been so impressed with him, and that whole defensive front the past 4 or 5 games have really locked it down.
Yeah, likewise.
Maybe not that New England game, but all the other ones, they have really been playing just out of control. And Zimmerman, of course, is the anchor of all of that. He's the straw that's stirring the drink, so to speak. It's exciting. All right, that was all the good stuff, but we also have to talk about your oh, hell no moments. So, Evan, we'll keep it with you. What's your oh, hell no moment this week?
Yeah, my all hell no moment was when they said that Malachi Jones was a Nashville native, but a New York player. I mean, I was just like, what? How did we let this guy get away? John was right. He looked very exciting. He seems very talented, tons of potential there. And yeah, I'm just like, man, we should have kept him around. So, yeah, when I saw him come onto the field wearing a New York City jersey, I was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Do we know the story behind this at all? How he got picked up by New York?
He was the number 1 pick in the draft this year.
Oh, I see.
It's irritating that he wasn't part of our academy system, so he could have been one of the homegrown players the way Isaiah is. And how many brothers are there in that family? 7 or 8? I can't remember. It's several brothers, and they were all adopted by a Middle Tennessee family. They were, oh man, I hate to be incorrect.
No, you don't. You don't mind.
I know.
When has that stopped us before, bud?
I think they were originally from Sierra Leone.
That's correct.
Okay. And Malachi was a star at Lipscomb last year, scoring goals for fun. And yeah, that dude is, he is really good. Talent recognizes talent, because guess who traded jerseys with him at the end of the game?
I don't know. Hani Mukhtar?
Hani Mukhtar. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Hani went to him and was like, yeah, we're trading jerseys, dude. So, yeah.
Wow.
You can tell that the guy's a baller for sure.
High praise indeed.
I wish he was with us, man.
Yeah, it does suck to see a guy
Right under our noses.
Yeah, find his way here in Nashville only to go on to bigger, better things, or not bigger and better, but go on to a different team, a competitive team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a gold and blue. All right, well, John, what's your hell nah moment of the week?
My moment is I stepped into our usual spot in the supporters section Saturday night, and right where we usually post up is usually to the left of the drum section. There were a family of 3 all wearing the black Messi jersey in the supporters section. And I was like, oh, hell no. I mean, okay, so one of them was a kid, so it's not like you can go up to them and start screaming at them or anything. And, you know, if there's a kid there anywhere that's wearing a Messi jersey, nobody's going to say anything. Everybody's entitled to their heroes, especially children. The part that pisses me off is that the team is not making this explicit when they're selling these tickets. If you go to buy a single game ticket on Ticketmaster, the cheapest ticket is always going to be in the supporters section. There should be a button before you click to buy it, like some kind of page, like a big flashing thing that says, don't wear opposing MLS jerseys in this section. Then go on.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. The team ought to do a better job of policing this. Obviously, we weren't playing Miami, but we're playing Miami this coming Saturday. I know we're going to see them, and it's going to piss me off, especially a team that we're directly playing. Even though we're not going to be playing Messi himself, we're going to see those jerseys, and it's going to piss me off. The team's got to do a better job of this.
Yeah, I agree. It was very frustrating to see the supporter section. You know, it's sacred. And in all of the MLS stadiums, I think, have these same rules.
Yes.
And we wouldn't dare think of going into another team stadium and wearing Nashville jerseys into their supporter section. It's disrespectful.
Yeah.
And while we all want to kick each other's ass, we also have a healthy amount of respect for one another and your fan culture.
Sure.
So there's a lot of people who don't know the rules and don't understand that that's a thing.
Yeah, I'm not blaming the family. I'm sure that they were just like, all right, let's buy the cheapest tickets possible. And it's on the team to let them know you can't do that. You can't wear that in that section.
Right.
You can buy tickets anywhere else in the stadium and be fine, but not there.
Exactly. And then the ushers, too, have to enforce this. They weren't lifting a finger to say something to these people. That's the other frustrating part, is that those ushers need to be coached and trained.
Yeah.
To be watching out for this. I've seen them be really dogmatic about the seat numbers and stuff that you're trying to, you're walking into the sports section like, oh, you're not in this section, you're in that section. Be like, at least hold the rules about the jerseys. Enforce them. Enforce those rules. It is a rule. It's a clear rule that's, if you read the stadium policies, it's there. Yeah. Let's enforce them.
And it's rife for problems.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if it's a kid, nothing's going to happen. But if it's simply adults in there, they may not come out dry and or completely healthy.
I'm going to say this. It's possible in the supporter section that we might be drinking an alcoholic beverage or two.
It's possible. It's entirely within the realm of possibility.
Also, when it's 90 degrees and 110 degree humidity, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's just when tempers flare even more. We saw a fight almost break out right behind the drum line for who knows what reason.
Yeah, who knows?
And it doesn't matter because everybody is hot and smelly and pissed off. And you want to like throw a match into the, I don't know what metaphor I'm trying to use here. You try to just like throw some tinder into the kindling or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
It's going to go ablaze and there's going to be problems. The team needs to make this clear and obvious when you're buying the ticket.
Yes.
Even on the reseller market, they need to make sure that that happens to where that is communicated clearly. And then once they're in the stadium staff need to enforce it.
Yep.
Good point. I'm glad you brought it up. Now let's move on. It's time for the Nashville Hot Chicken Takes. All right, guys, this is your time. Get wild and crazy. Hottest take. John, what's yours?
If Walker Zimmerman stays healthy for the rest of this season, Nashville SC is going to win MLS Cup.
Whoa.
Wow.
This guy, I'm telling you, he fucking dominates. He dominates physically. He dominates mentally. He is just a beacon of amazing play. Everyone around him gets better. And I just see it happening, man. If he comes back from the Olympics and he's in good health, we're going to go coasting through.
Wow.
I don't see any MLS player other than maybe one of those guys down in Miami that is as dominant during the course of a game as he can be. And he does it from the defensive position. It's amazing.
There was one sequence where we were watching against New York where they brought it down the left side. So he goes over to the right of the goal. He defends a shot or something like that. They pass it over to the left side and immediately he's there. This is all like within 15 seconds.
Yeah.
He's right there. He's moving as fast as the ball is moving.
Yeah.
And he defends that player in that position. And then they knock the ball over and it goes out of bounds and they try a hurry up throw in really fast, trying to get the ball in. And immediately he's there and defends the throw in and steals it away from them and kicks it up the field.
Yeah.
And that was like 25, 30 seconds. And it was just like he covered the entire width of the field twice, defended the ball 3 different times and took possession away. I was amazed.
The two of us, I remember us looking at each other like, how the fuck is there only one of this dude on the field?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, did he momentarily split in half?
Yeah. Unreal.
It was
dude.
Incredible. Yeah. He's playing out of his mind. The game against Red Bulls.
Yeah.
He was unreal. I mentioned this last podcast. He blocked like 7 shots on his own where Willis had made a save. But then he was out of position and Zimmerman came up and defended behind him or just whatever. I mean, he was all over the place.
Yeah.
These last few games have been a tour de force for Walker Zimmerman.
Yeah. And we talked about Mayer and Bauer playing well. I think it's just that they're seeing fucking Walker Zimmerman how to do it. You remember like in high school, like if you suddenly kind of made friends with like the coolest kid in class, you suddenly became cooler. I absolutely think that's what's happening with Jack and Josh Bauer. They're like hanging with the coolest dude on the field, and they're getting cooler by comparison.
Unfortunately, I don't remember that at all in high school.
Yeah, I get it in theory, John.
Right. I mean, I've seen it in movies. I haven't experienced it in real life.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's osmosis or something. He's rubbing off on everybody else and they all look great, but it all starts and ends with Walker.
Yep.
All right, Evan, can you beat that? What's your hot take for this week?
Well, geez, I mean, John just scorched me. I actually felt pretty good coming into this hot take, but now I feel like it's going to come across like a delicious ice cream cone from the Frosty Freeze up in Franklin, Kentucky or something. You guys remember the old Frosty Freeze up there by the driveway?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, anyway, so obviously feeling really well about the way we're playing and how we've climbed into 7th place in the Eastern Conference standings, and looking above us and seeing that we've got a game in hand on 3 of the top 4 teams in the conference. And I just thought to myself, I think by Leagues Cup, I think we are going to be in one of those top 4 positions in the conference.
Woo! Spicy.
That's pretty spicy too. Now I'm going to just take a look. Let's see who we've got to leapfrog here. All right. We're in 7th place. New York is in 6th. They're 3 points ahead of us. No problem. We just showed that we can beat them. And they've lost 3 in a row now. They won 8 of 9, and now they've lost 3. So they're just a total trick and treat type of team. I think we can overtake them. Columbus and Charlotte are the next 2. Columbus is 5th. Charlotte is 4th. Columbus is 4 points ahead of us, and then Charlotte is 6 points ahead. So we'd have to get over those 2 teams as well. I don't know. I guess it's possible.
Charlotte, I don't think are as good as their position currently.
Okay. All right.
Columbus is probably better than their position.
The 2 teams who have the least amount of losses in the Eastern Conference are Miami and Columbus. They each have 3 losses. So, Columbus hasn't converted as many wins as Miami has.
They've played fewer games. Were they in CONCACAF Champions Cup or something? Because they're like 3 games.
Yeah, Columbus went all the way to the final in that.
There you go.
So,
yeah. It's going to be tough to overtake them, but hey, anything's possible. And that's a very spicy take. Dang, I'm really torn with this. MLS Cup or 4th place by Leagues Cup, which is not that far away. What are we talking about? A little over a month, 6 weeks, something like that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Man, you guys are both just scalding hot. I don't know that I can even pick a winner.
You better take a drive up 31W to the Frosty Freeze. But.
Yeah. So, the drive-in's closed up there now, right? But if you guys are interested, there's a drive-in out in Lebanon. Excellent place to go. And while you're out in Lebanon, they don't have a Frosty Freeze, but they do have the Snow White Diner. Y'all ever been to the Snow White?
No.
Oh, man. You got to go to the Snow White Diner. This is your old 50s style diner.
Oh.
You can drive up and order. You can go inside. They have a patty melt that will knock your socks off. They have a pecan milkshake that they make with real pecans.
Get the fuck out.
No, I'm serious as a heart attack. This thing is the best ice cream product I've ever tasted in my life.
Oh, man.
Dang, what are you guys doing tomorrow?
Hey, let's go to Lebanon, dudes.
You go to Snow White, you get your burger, your fries, and your shake, and then you go to the drive-in and catch a double feature. They do like the B movie, like monster movies and stuff.
Oh, yes.
They do it like an old drive-in should.
That's the best way. Yep.
The dream still lives out in Lebanon, Tennessee. All right, guys. Well, speaking of summertime, drive-ins, milkshakes, all that good stuff, I was thinking about this is also the season of blockbuster movies. And it's not as common as it used to be to go out to the movie theater. It's not as common as it was when we were growing up. Man, I went to the movies all the damn time when I was a kid. Didn't you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But we do have a superhero on our team. We were just talking about him. Walker Zimmerman is a superhero on the field, and he also looks like a superhero. He looks exactly like Thor in all the Marvel movies. And it just got me to thinking about, what are the best superhero movies? What's your Rushmore? What's your top 4 superhero movies of all time? We'll go back and forth. We'll do one each. So we'll do this round robin style. So, John, we'll start with you. What's your first superhero movie choice for Rushmore?
Ooh, man. My first superhero movie is going to be the original Superman movie, 1978. First of all, I think Batman is perceived as cooler than Superman is. I absolutely think the opposite. I'm going to give you a breakdown. Batman, to me, is a fascist. He's this rich dude who keeps just cosplaying as a superhero. He's not cool. Superman is cool. Superman has the power to be a god if he wanted to, and he doesn't want to. He just wants to help. He doesn't want the recognition. He wants to be just a regular Joe in glasses working at a newspaper. Superman is where it's at. But yeah, that Superman first movie, it's got, at the time, it was like the coolest special effects ever made. I think it was seriously the most money ever spent on a movie when it first came out, if you could believe that.
Wow.
It looks pretty corny now. General Zod, he's the bad guy in this one. Well, Lex Luthor is the bad guy.
Zod's not really in it until the second one.
I thought he was like from the Phantom Zone.
Well, they put him in the Phantom Zone at the beginning of the first movie.
Oh.
And then they fly off into space and you don't see them the rest of the movie. And then the second movie is where Zod shows up with his two pals and they wreak havoc.
So my number one movie on the Mount Rushmore is going to be Superman 2.
Yeah. I'm glad we made this distinction because actually Superman 2 was going to be my choice.
Oh, okay. There we go.
If you guys didn't bring it up, I was going to say this needs to be on there.
Yeah.
Superman 2 is freaking awesome. Okay, continue.
It is. Okay, General Zod, he gets in the Phantom Zone and he's in like this funky triangle thing with his two henchmen, and this triangle keeps floating around in space. It's really cool. It was the coolest thing I remember seeing as a kid. It made a big, big impression on me.
Yeah, and then they show up on Earth and it's like, what if there were 3 evil Supermen?
Yeah.
Versus 1 good Superman.
Still, the good Superman ended up winning in the end.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
He was a Superman amongst Supermen.
Yeah.
So, hell yeah, Christopher Reeves.
R.I.P.
The only Superman.
That's right. And I'll tell you what, he was an amazing actor beyond just his superhero roles. I watched a movie not too long ago, him with Michael Caine, and I forget the name of it, but it's like this complex mystery whodunit kind of thing. And it has just twists and turns, and you don't know who the good guy is or the bad guy is at any given time. It was a really interesting movie. But yeah, look up some of Christopher Reeve's movies through the 70s and 80s. He did some really fantastic work. Good choice, John. That would have been one of my first ones as well. Evan, what have you got for us? What's one of your Mount Rushmore superhero movies?
Batman. I don't know what John must be hanging out with the cool kids too much because Batman was awesome. I guess it was that 1989, the Michael Keaton Batman.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh my God. It blew my mind. It would have been awesome with just him as Batman, but then you throw in Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Yeah.
And Prince doing the soundtrack.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, dude. I loved that movie so much. I watched it so many times over the years. It definitely and proudly holds the first spot on my Rushmore.
I don't think that Batman was the cultural phenomenon that it was until that movie came out.
That is correct. Yeah.
Superman was definitely in the pole position of superheroes until that Michael Keaton Batman. And then Batman became the most popular superhero at that time.
Yeah.
That movie was awesome. Nicholson's performance, it's so great. And, you know, it gets overshadowed by the Heath Ledger performance later on because that was tremendous as well. But
yeah,
Nicholson does some great, great stuff. I mean, he's one of the greatest actors of all time, and he does a fantastic job in that movie.
Yeah, his Joker is definitely more entertaining than Heath Ledger's. Because, yeah, Heath Ledger was an amazing actor, and he does a great job as the Joker. But Jack Nicholson's Joker, I think the Joker is meant to be kind of funny as well as kind of psychotic. And Jack Nicholson, if that isn't the description of Jack Nicholson, I don't know what is.
Right.
He kind of was just playing himself.
Right. Yeah.
Just a little more murderous. All right, John, your turn. What's your next superhero Rushmore movie?
All right. I'm going to go with kind of an underdog. I'm going to go with Watchmen.
Okay. No, that's a great choice.
The movie is nowhere near as good as the novel, the comic novelization, which is up there with my favorite works of fiction ever made. I'm a big Alan Moore fan, but the movie was pretty faithful to the comic adaptation, almost to its own detriment, because I think if you hadn't read the comic book, the movie made no sense at all. But yeah, it was awesome. I don't think it made a big impact upon society because it was so, I don't know, inner baseball. You had to have read the comic before you watched the movie.
It definitely has that cult following.
Yeah, for sure. Because it was Alan Moore's kind of take apart of the whole superhero genre. But yeah, Zack Snyder directed the movie, and it's really entertaining for what it's worth, as long as you know what's happening.
Right. So maybe do a little bit of brushing up, a little bit of studying beforehand.
Yes, read the comic before you go watch the movie, and then you're going to like the movie a lot more.
Awesome. Okay, Evan, what's your second superhero Rushmore choice?
All right. My second one is Spider-Man 2. And you may remember this is the one with Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus, and he was so good in that role. But on top of that, you've got all of the turmoil going on, right? You've got Peter Parker deciding that he doesn't want to be Spider-Man anymore because it's putting all his loved ones in danger. You've got his gal, Mary Jane. That's her name, right? Mary Jane?
Yeah.
Okay. She is trying to get over him and move on. His best friend is trying to kill Spider-Man and he's trying to walk that fine line. Oh my God, dude. That was a really good Spider-Man.
And just to be clear, so people are following, this is the Tobey Maguire trilogy that you're talking about.
Correct.
That was good. And I thought Molina as Doc Ock was just terrific. Sometimes the villain roles are more fun and interesting than the superheroes themselves. Okay, John, what's your third choice?
My third one, I don't know if this strictly counts as a superhero or not, but I'm going to say it anyway. My third one is the Transformers, the movie from 1986. Not the one with Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf that you're thinking of. That movie had its moments. The first sentence of that movie is actually incredible because it has Optimus Prime doing a voiceover, and he says these words: "Before time began, there was the cube." Already, 10 seconds in, you have defied the laws of physics. I was really hyped at the time. I was like, oh, hell yeah, this movie is going to rule. And then it goes off into some shit about humans. Who cares?
Yeah.
Megan Fox might be pretty or whatever, but I mean, who cares about humans when you're at a Transformers movie? So,
it's a great point.
The 1986 cartoon is one of the best movies of all time. I was a kid. I was a huge Transformers fan, like we all were. We all go to this movie expecting the Autobots to kick ass. 20 minutes into this movie, fucking Optimus Prime dies.
Yes.
He doesn't come back.
No, he's dead.
He's dead. My little mind was blown.
Not just Optimus Prime, but 85% of all Autobots were wiped out in the first 20 minutes.
Wiped out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's incredible.
Every toy that you owned was dead.
They're all dead. They're all useless. This was actually probably the goal, is that you had to go and buy new toys afterwards.
Correct. Yeah. It was all a marketing ploy.
Yeah.
Had you cried since Old Yeller, or was that kind of like...
No, that was the first real moment of death being real, was probably Optimus Prime. It's incredible. Like, they didn't give a fuck who was watching.
No.
The adults didn't care because it was just a stupid cartoon. The kids are all distraught, emotionally scarred for life. Nobody was really happy with it. It was such an artistic choice. It's a great movie all around. Can I even tell you, that was Orson Welles' final credit.
Yes.
He plays...
Really?
Yeah, he plays the planet Unicron.
Unicron,
yeah.
Who is a planet-sized robot who is the big baddie. And Unicron doesn't give a fuck. Unicron will eat entire planets. He doesn't care if it's Autobots, Decepticons, humans. He just wants to eat planets. And that is the way Orson Welles' career ended.
Wow.
One of the greatest movie makers of all time.
Yes.
Man, John, you are spot on. I don't know if this is a superhero movie either, but you are absolutely correct that this is one of the most important and best movies of all time. I have a long time said that Transformers the movie is one of the most influential movies in my lifetime.
Yes.
On my personal life, because of its willingness to show all of the good guys die.
Yeah.
Good guys can die. I mean, that was just...
They can die.
That was just not a concept that in 1986 we had ever really seen before. I mean, you gotta take you back to 1986. We're 8-9 years old.
Yeah.
America has been on a hot streak for a good long while at this point.
Mhm.
We're beating the Soviets. The Berlin Wall's about to come down. America's riding high. We got Top Gun. We got all these things going on. And there was just never any depiction of good guys losing in any media whatsoever. It was very patriotic in the 80s. And then you have this movie where, again, all the good guys are dead in the first 20 minutes, and they have to go and they scrabble together just whatever leftovers they have. And then they find some other new good guys throughout the universe over the course of the movie to cobble together this new resistance to try and beat down the bad guys. And they eventually do it, but it was not an easy path to victory by any means.
Hot Rod becomes Rodimus Prime.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. We can debate that later, but anyway, and I know people think that we're being total nerds by talking about this for so long. I'm telling you, Transformers the movie, the original cartoon movie, is one of the most important movies of all time. Orson Welles was in 2 of the most important movies of all time. The first was Citizen Kane, and the last was the Transformers the movie.
Nothing in between.
Nothing in between. All right, Evan. Sorry, we had a prolonged discussion about Transformers. What's your third Rushmore movie?
No, that was beautiful. My third Rushmore movie, I could have gone all 4 X-Men movies. I love X-Men. They're my favorite comic book franchise or series or whatever. But I limited myself to one, and I chose X-Men Origins Wolverine. I love an origin story. This one's got everything. It's got this flashback of him and his brother fighting wars through history. And then, of course, he and his brother diverge, and his gal gets killed. And, of course, he is kidnapped and experimented on and becomes a Wolverine. I mean, my God, it was so good. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Wonderful. How excited are you for the upcoming crossover with all the new Marvel movies? The old Wolverine with the new Marvel stuff.
So are we talking about like the Deadpool, the Hugh Jackman Deadpool?
Well, there's that, but aren't they going to incorporate it into the larger Marvel universe as well?
Oh, I hope you're right. I have not heard that, but I hope you're right, because that would be insane.
Yeah, I think that they're going to use some multiverse, blah, 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 and like make it all be the same movie. But yeah, the Deadpool movie with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, that looks like it's going to be amazing.
It'll be great.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Let's go to Lebanon. Let's go to the drive-in.
Get some pecan milkshakes.
Yeah, have some milkshakes whenever this new X-Men crossover happens.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. All right, let's bring it home. John, what's your fourth and final Rushmore superhero movie?
Oh, my fourth and final, and despite calling Batman a fascist earlier, I was going to go with the Tim Burton Batman. So instead, I'll back it up.
You can still go with that. You guys can have overlapping movies.
What was the second Batman Tim Burton movie? The one with the pink
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
Yes.
I really enjoyed Batman Returns. Not a lot of people did, I don't think, at the time. Like, it wasn't as cool as the first one. But Danny DeVito playing the Penguin is hilarious. Mm-hmm. Classic. But what sends that movie over the top? Michelle Pfeiffer. Catwoman.
I was going there too.
I was probably 13 at the time. Boy, that woke up things in me.
She just ushered you right into puberty.
Yeah.
She was a major upgrade over Kim Basinger. I love Kim Basinger. Yeah. She's fine and all, but Pfeiffer is a different level altogether.
Yeah. Pfeiffer is her own adjective.
Yeah.
Like, whoo, Michelle Pfeiffer. That's how you describe a pretty girl. Woo. That's Michelle Pfeiffer right there.
Yeah, I'm almost at a loss for words. She's one of the ultimate. I mean, if we were to do a Rushmore of smoke show actresses, she would be on it. She might be the George Washington of the Rushmore smoke show actresses. Now, she's fantastic. And she's great as Catwoman in that movie.
She is. She's fantastic.
All right, Evan, final superhero Rushmore movie.
One I saw recently, the Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh, wow.
I love the Guardians of the Galaxy series, but that third one, I don't know if you call that an origin story or the background on Rocket and all those other animal experimentations. And I mean, guys, I'm pretty sure I teared up. I might have shed a tear.
Wow.
during that scene. I mean, that was powerful. It's so crazy how they can use something so stupid like a superhero movie and
a talking raccoon.
Yeah, to just completely devastate you, but they do. And man, I loved it.
Yeah, I have enjoyed all of those Guardian of the Galaxy movies. I got to say that all the new Marvel movie universe that they have, the Guardians of the Galaxy and then the Spider-Man stuff, I've really enjoyed. I really was surprised that you guys didn't mention more Spider-Man stuff. The recent one that they did where they crossed over all three Spider-Man into the same movie, I thought was really interesting. Also, the Into the Spider-Verse cartoon movie is fantastic as well. So
yeah,
maybe some honorable mentions there, but no Blank Man. Nobody's mentioning Blank Man.
John about
never mind.
Spit his beer out.
I forgot about Blank Man. I nearly spit my beer out.
Damon Wayans says Blank Man.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, if you know, you know. Let's move on. Let's get back to some soccer. Let's do the weekend preview. The boys in gold get to enjoy a week at home this week, as they will next host Inter Miami on Saturday in Geodis Park. Much to the chagrin of ticket scalpers, neither Lionel Messi nor Luis Suarez are expected to play as they continue their time in Copa America tournament. Nashville SC will once again be without Shaq Moore and Jakob Shaffleburg, who are also participating in the tournament, while Anibal Godoy, Randall Leao, and Lucas McNaughton remain on the injured list. Of course, Miami are the best team in the MLS this season, sitting atop the Eastern Conference with a record of 12 wins, 3 losses, and 5 draws. But anything is possible when they're missing their 2 biggest stars, who have scored over 50% of the team's goals this season. Nashville will look to make it 3 in a row and possibly pull into 6th place with a win and an NYCFC loss. So guys, big match coming up. We're probably, I don't know if we're favored or not. We're at home, but it's against such a good team. But they're missing their best players. So who really even knows what might happen? But I'd love to hear your predictions. Evan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I know what's going to happen.
You seem to have a knack for this. So
I do, right? I mean, we're going to win 3-0.
Woo!
Yeah, Tyler Boyd is going to score again, this time with his feet. Hani Mukhtar is going to get that long-range blast that I predicted last time. I just was a week late on that one. And Drew Yearwood's going to score a goal. He's been playing well.
Nice.
And we're going to win 3-0. It's going to be a walk in the park.
Wow, I love it. That would be so much fun. I'd love to rub it in all the Messi fanboys' face when they're sitting in our supporters section. All right, John, what's your prediction?
Oh, we're going to win. I think it's going to be 1-0 again, but it's going to be like a 1-0. Think of like the bully on the playground just toying with a child.
Yeah.
He kind of just sticks his hand out and he's pushing the kid back, and the kid is throwing punches.
And can't even reach him.
Right, and he can't even reach him. Like Muhammad Ali on the rings, like just toying with dudes, throwing rope-a-dope, throwing punches, and he's just waiting for them to get tired. And then he goes, pop, one punch, and they're out. That's what Nashville's going to do to Inter Miami. We're going to control the game. We'll win 1-0. It's going to be, I'll say Super Sam Surridge.
Continues his hot streak, huh?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Are there any players on Miami that you're really worried about? Obviously, Messi and Suarez aren't going to be there, but they still have a pretty killer lineup. Is anybody in particular we should be concerned with?
I would say Alba. Is he still... I haven't kept up with him. I can't remember it.
Yes.
I can't remember if sometimes he's injured, sometimes he's not. But it seems like that left-sided attackers have been our weakness. And like we mentioned, Malachi Jones. So him coming in the left wing might pose a threat, but I think we can handle it.
Yeah, I'm not concerned. How about you, Evan? Anybody that you're worried about at all?
No, they've got good players. Campagna, Busquets. They've got some good players, but the way we're playing, Zimmerman's got it locked down in the back with help from Mayer and Bauer, and Daniel Levis has been playing great.
Yes.
No problems there. We've landed on a midfield configuration that works. Our goal scorers are starting to heat up. So, no, I don't care who they bring Saturday night. We got this.
Hell yeah. I love it. I love the confidence. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this has been a lot of fun, but I'm all out of beer, so we've got to wrap things up. Thanks so much for your time this evening. It's been a wonderful discussion. John, you want to let everybody know how they can reach out and get in touch with us?
Absolutely. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We are Electric Gold NSC. We also have our Facebook page. Please, wherever you go, like us, love us, want some more of us, drop us a little 5-star review here and there. You know, like and subscribe is what the kids say.
We're the Michelle Pfeiffer of podcasts.
We are. We are the beauty.
Hey, John, I better hear added to the Spotify playlist, The Touch from Transformers the movie.
You better believe it. I'm going right now and adding it before anyone even hears this, because basically the whole Transformers the movie soundtrack is god tier.
It's just the quintessential
Soundtracks.
80s.
It's very 80s, very power metal, American power rock, I would say. Yeah, it's glorious.
And I've never heard of Stan Bush before or since, but he penned The Touch.
He knocked it out of the park.
And of course, The Touch was covered by Dirk Diggler in Boogie Nights as well. So there's that reference as well. All right. Well, thank you. Again, it's been a lively discussion. I've really enjoyed talking with you guys. Thanks, everyone out there, for listening. As John said, make sure to give us a rating. Love us, hate us, whatever. Just give us a star or 5, preferably 5. Make sure that you show up to the game, show up to the tailgate, cheer for these boys. Don't forget, keep on saying it. Come on, you boys and gold.
Come on, you boys and gold.
Come on, you boys and gold.
All right, guys. Well, speaking of summertime, drive-ins, milkshakes, all that good stuff, I was thinking about this is also the season of shit. What is it? The season of
Summer of shit.
This is also the season of blockbuster movies.
There you go. Yep.